This conference will now be recorded.
Right, perfect. So, welcome once again to the session. In this session, we'll be taking up a few questions of statement assumption and a few questions of cause and effect. Now, before we start off with the questions, what do we understand by statement assumption? What is the meaning of assumption over here? Can anyone tell me that what do we mean by assumption for a particular statement? Now, I'll just wait for a few seconds for some of you to tell me that what do you mean, or what does any question expect from you when it asks you that this is a given statement and tell me what's the assumption which has been taken in that statement. Joey, it's not guess, it basically refers, as Aditi and Niharika said, uh, something which is not said or called out clearly in the given statement, anything which is not called out clearly in the given statement, but it's something which we could derive if we try to uh, see that what could be the connecting dots in the things which are mentioned in the given statement. Something more, where we try to understand that if x comma y is mentioned in the given statement, then what is connecting x and y? What is making someone to derive y from x, or something to derive x from y? What is that hidden thing which is not outrightly said in the statement, but the author believes that the person who is reading this particular statement would already be knowing, which could be different. It could be different for Harshit, it could be different for Rishika, it could be different for Tushar, it could be different for Anjali, it could be different for Varun. It because all of us read a statement and infer it in different ways, and similarly the thing which leads to our inference depends upon what all things we assumed regarding the given statement. Hence, these questions become slightly tricky, because at times what we may think is the right assumption cannot be the right assumption, because assumption is something which should, the correct answer for a statement assumption question would be the option which stands universally, or say which stands true for everyone who is going to read that statement. My answer for a statement assumption question has to be the answer which would stand true even if lakhs of people read that particular statement. Is it clear, everyone? So that's how I am going to select an option. That's how I'm going to eliminate an option. Perfect. Now, usually these questions are given in this format where you will be given a statement, you will be given two assumptions, and then you will be asked that only one assumption is correct, only second is correct, both are correct, or only one of the two could be correct at the same time, or none of them is correct. So that's how usually the options are built. Most confusion happens in the option number 3, which you see on your screen, that is either 1 or 2 is implicit. This means that if 1 is there, 2 will not be there. If 2 is there, 1 will not be there. So that's what it refers to. And when both of them would be there, we will mark option number 5. So that's how 3 is different from 5. Am I audible? I guess Moini is asking, so just checking, am I audible? Perfect. So did all of you get the difference between option number 3 and option number 5? Okay, now let's quickly move on to solving the questions. What is the answer you are getting for question number 1? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the options. I'm waiting for a few more answers. I'm seeing a battle almost in all the options people have marked. All the options are in the race, it seems. Okay. Now, what does my statement say? My statement says anger is energy in a more proactive way, and how to channelize it is in itself a skill. If I'm reading this, can I say that channelizing anger is a skill? That's what the statement says. And if anything is a skill, implicit means, Harshit, something which is not outrightly mentioned. There is nothing called explicit assumption. It's always implicit assumption. It's implicit, that's why it's an assumption. Now when I say that channelizing anger is a skill, can I very easily say that channelizing anger is something which only skillful people can do because it's a skill? And very easily all of us can assume that a skill can, if something is a skill, a person who possesses that particular skill is called a skillful person, correct? So can I say that a person who can channelize anger to energy is a skillful person? Can I say this? Rishika, Atul, Harshit, Anushka, do we agree? Alka, that if a person has a skill, he is a skillful person. And if channelizing anger is a skill, the person who can channelize energy is a skillful person. Perfect. That means my assumption number 2 is definitely correct. Are we on the same page? That option number 2 is definitely an assumption. Now I have to see whether to mark option number 2, or whether to mark option number 5, or whether to mark option number 3. So Nagesh, the statement says channelizing anger is a skill. If any person is an artist, is a musician, is a person who plays sport and is skilled in something, we say that that particular person is skillful, because any person who holds a skill can be called a skillful person. Now, if channelizing anger to energy is a skill, the person who holds this is a skillful person. Yes, Rishika, it's correct, Rishika, because we have said in the statement that this is a skill, and a skill can only be possessed by anyone who possesses that skill is called a skillful person. So I can say that only skillful person can do this. It does not say that possessing a skill makes you a celebrity, or you need to be a special person. Any person. So for example, even if I go to say a village, and if I find someone who instrument very good, I would say that that particular person is skillful, even if he is a common man. So that's what skillful refers to, a person who possesses a skill. It does not mean that that particular person is privileged, and hence I can use the word only over there. Is it clear, Rishika? Are you able to understand, Rishika, or have any confusion? So that's where my assumption number 2 is going to be there. Now let's come to 1. My given statement in the question, does it anywhere say, or has any word which imply in any form that it is mandatory to channelize an anger? Does anywhere the statement say that it is mandatory to channelize anger? No. It's talking about who can channelize it and what it gets channelized into, but it never says that it's mandatory to channelize. If it does not say that it is mandatory to channelize, can I say that anger needs to be channelized? Can I say that? No. So 1 is out of question. My correct answer is option number 2. Only assumption 2 is implicit. Proactive, no. Proactive does not mean controlling as such, Kathy. What does the word proactive mean? Pooja, you, as I said in the start, you will go with option number 3 when both 1 and 2 can be the assumption, but they cannot be the assumption together. Implicit is something which is not outrightly mentioned. Option 1 is not a conclusive statement as well, because I cannot conclude. I cannot conclude that it is mandatory to channelize anger. It's not a concluding statement. My concluding statement has to be a definite statement. Moini, do you get it? Exactly, Niharika. Don't worry, this is a slightly confusing topic because you need a lot of practice to be able to develop your accuracy, because lot of times what we may think is correct will not be correct. So just remember one thing, that you don't need to bring in, as I always say, you don't need to bring in your general knowledge or your common sense while solving these questions. Restrict yourself to the words given in the statements. The moment we bring the outside knowledge in solving these questions, we start making the mistakes. Vani, implicit implies something which is not mentioned outrightly, but the author wants us to assume it whenever we read the statement. Implicit means hidden. Implicit means not outrightly mentioned. Okay. Let's move to question number 2. Shoot your answers for question number 2. I'm waiting for more answers. We will do practice sessions on these topics, so you all don't need to worry. Now, the correct answer for this is question, option number 4. Neither is implicit. Neither is implicit. Correct answer is option number 4. Brinda, Aditi, Andrilla, Jui, the correct answer is option number 4, as rightly pointed out by you. Now see, for everyone who did not get 4, medicine X is a great drug. Now, what my assumption 1 says, no other drug is causing ripples in the medical field. Statement says medicine X is a drug which is causing ripples in the medical field. By reading this statement, can I say that is this the only drug? Varsha, just give me a minute, I'll explain. Does my given statement say that this is the only drug which is causing ripples? No. Does my given statement says that the great drugs, they cause ripples? If suppose my assumption 1 was great drugs cause ripples in the medical field, then I would have gone for 1 and 2, because if I club great drugs cause ripples in the medical field. X is a great drug. I will get the given statement, but not in this case, because neither one nor two justify anything which is mentioned in the given statement. In fact, given statement does not use the word great at all. So I cannot link the assumption number 2 in any form with the given statement. Causing ripples in medical field means getting very popular. Being in news, it could be positive, it could be negative. It's about being in news. Now again, I guess a couple of you again asked me what is the meaning of the word implicit. Guys, don't confuse yourself with the word implicit. I can easily replace implicit by the word correct. Only assumption 1 is correct, only assumption 2 is correct, or I can just not use the word. Please don't confuse yourselves. Implicit word has no impact on your answer. Implicit simply means something which is not outrightly mentioned. Something which is not outrightly mentioned is left for us to deduct, is left for us to infer, is left for us to think about. That is what is the meaning of the word implicit. And by default, we have studied these things in RCs also, that my assumption can never be something which is already mentioned in the given passage. Similarly, my assumption cannot be something which is mentioned in the given statement. So for example, if assumption 2 was medicine X is a drug, I will not select it. I will not mark it as an answer, because that is not an assumption. That's a fact. It's given in the given statement itself. That is why I call assumption as implicit, because assumption is something which is supposed to be not mentioned in the given statement. If assumption 2 was medicine X is a drug, I will still not mark it, because that is not an implicit assumption. It's something which is outrightly mentioned. And an implicit assumption is something which is never mentioned. Whether I say implicit assumption or just assumption, assumptions are always implicit. Assumptions are never explicit. Is it clear, everyone? Shall we move ahead? Perfect. Great, Vani. Moving to the next question. Tell me the answer all of you are getting for this question. I'm waiting for a few more answers. Okay, great. So I see majority of you are able to get the gist now. The correct answer for this question is option number 2. Only assumption 2 is implicit. Only assumption 2 is implicit. Let's discuss. The ticket for balcony class is atrociously priced at rupees 200. Do I have any idea? Do I have any idea about the price of other classes? No. Anyone who has marked assumption 1, please understand, just because I am saying that the balcony class is atrociously priced, I cannot say anything about the other classes. They may be atrociously priced, they may be decently priced. No relative word is used in the given statement. So can I mark assumption 1? No, I cannot mark assumption 1. So moving to assumption 2, let's check it out. The ticket for balcony class is atrociously priced at 200. Atrociously priced. What is the meaning of atrociously priced? Vani, how can it be an assumption when you have no clue? Assumption has to be about something which is given in the given statement. If my statement says Sachin Tendulkar is a great batsman, I cannot be assuming something about Virat Kohli. Whatever I will assume, I have to assume about Sachin Tendulkar only. Similarly, the given statement is about balcony class. How can I assume anything about any other class? Whatever assumption I can do is for the balcony class, unless there was some relative word used in the given statement. If the statement was the ticket for balcony class is atrociously priced unlike other classes at rupees 200, then I could have said that other classes are decently priced because there was a relative word. But in the given statement, it's an absolute statement. It has no link with other classes at all. Does it make sense now, Vani? Perfect. And atrocious means high price. And if I'm saying that 200 is a high price, that very easily refers to the fact that 200 is a big amount to pay for a balcony ticket, and hence assumption 1 is not applicable. Assumption 2 is applicable. My answer will be option number 2. Everyone understood? Understood this question, everyone? Shrishti, did you understand? It's now see, when I say it's a big amount to pay, it depends. It's a subjective word. What could be a high price for Atul may not be high price for Shrishti, but it may be high price for Varun. So I cannot say that it is explicitly mentioned. This is what I am assuming as a common reader. For me, say buying a jet, buying a helicopter may be an expensive affair, but Mukesh Ambani can just go and buy it any day, right? So I will assume still that buying a helicopter is a expensive thing, but that's not explicit. Is it clear, Atul? Right, great. Moving ahead. Question number 4. What is the answer you all are getting for question number 4? Khyati, read again, read again. Everyone, please be careful. Don't be in hurry to answer. Alka, read again. I don't know what is the answer you have shared, but take your time, Alka. Okay. This is an interesting question, and again, I have explicitly mentioned the word advertisement in the given statement. Advertisement is a word in the given statement. When we advertise anything, I go and advertise that come and enroll for my coaching course. Would I advertise if I know that there is no one who wants a coaching course? Or when I'll advertise when I know that there would be some people who would want the coaching course? When people demand, right? As she said, I would only advertise when I know that there is a demand for whatever I'm trying to advertise. Correct? Do we all agree with this? Is it a fair assumption that if I am advertising, I am going to advertise for something which has some demand somewhere? It may not be at a huge scale, can be at a very small scale, but there would be some demand, right? So if I say use Kajaria ceramic tiles to decorate your house and advertisement, can I very safely assume that there are people who want to decorate their houses? It's an advertisement. It's not a dialogue between two people that I cannot use the word people. I can use the word people because it is an advertisement, right? So people want to decorate their houses. Asian Paints come with an ad. That means that people want to paint their houses. They may or may not want to do it immediately. Similarly, I may or may not want to decorate my house immediately, but there would be people who want to decorate their houses. Again, Charu, it's a very weird thing, because if I am making a product may be new, but some demand would be there. That's why the product is made. We don't go and produce we don't go and produce rockets, put up an advertisement in the newspaper, come and buy rocket. I may produce Jaguar, and I can put an ad that come and buy Jaguar, because I know that there would be some demand for Jaguar, but there is going to be no demand for a rocket. So if I am making a product and putting an advertisement, that definitely means that I can assume that there is some demand, right? So assumption one is going to be there. Moving to assumption number two, only ceramic tiles can make a house decorative. Exactly, Anushka. If only word was not there, I would have gone for option number 5, but because only word is there, I will go for option number 1. Is it clear? Only word makes assumption 2 incorrect. My correct answer for this question is option number 1. Great. I hope all of you are now able to understand how to approach these questions. Don't worry at all. Don't worry at all, even if you get all questions incorrect. This is a tough topic. You can only master it with practice. So it's completely fine. But try to understand the approach and how to eliminate the options. Question number 5. This was an easy one. This was an easy one, and I'm happy that all of you have got it correct. Yes, the correct answer is 4. The correct answer is 4. None of these is implicit. Just because the new company is giving Sanjeev a better salary and better perk does not mean that it gives to its all its employees, and that nowhere means that the present company is running in losses. I may give someone lesser salary or lesser perks even if I'm running in profit. So even assumption 2 is not correct. My correct answer is option number 4. Good, all of you got it correct. Right, Vani, there is nothing mentioned about it, and I cannot infer also. Perfect. If suppose my statement said that the current company is laying off employees, then I could still think that there may be a possibility that the current company is in losses. But in the current scenario, no. Salary has no link with the profitability of a company. All of you are correct. Option number 4. Moving to statement number 6. Now I'm getting multiple answers. Okay. So tell me, if I am discussing anything with anyone, does it make that particular topic necessarily a serious concern? No, it does not. I could be discussing a fun fact with someone. It may not necessarily be a serious concern. Exactly, we don't know the context. It could be a fun topic as well. Now, if I bring in my common sense and use it for corruption and say that corruption is a serious concern, I will go and mark the answer wrongly, because I am not supposed to bring in my common sense. I have to keep my common sense outside. I have to limit myself to the words given in the statement. And if I just limit myself to the words given in the statement, nowhere can I say that corruption is a serious concern. Is it correct? Are we all agreeing to this? Right. Corruption is rampant everywhere in the country. That is something which definitely I can assume that it is inevitable in any system. It is inevitable in any system, I can assume it. Correct? Inevitable means something which cannot be stopped from prevailing in any system. So what should be my correct answer? Rampant means on growth, on a growth path, spread everywhere. Right, my correct answer is option number 1. Option number 1 is the correct answer for question number 6. Cause and effect. What do we mean by principal cause? And what do I mean by immediate cause? When I say principal cause, as all of you have rightly said, I mean the main cause. It's a main cause. When I say immediate cause, I mean something which immediately happened before it. That is the immediate cause. If I say the immediate effect, that is something which happens immediately after it. The word immediate. Immediate effect, just after this. Immediate cause, just before this. Is it clear? Tell me your answer for the first question. Cause and effect, first question. Okay, just tell me. Students ragged seniors, ragged juniors, seniors were suspended. What will be the first thing which has happened? My cause will always happen before the effect. Ragging happens first. That means A is the cause. Eliminate all the options which say A is an effect. Now tell me what is the answer. A cannot be the effect. A has to be the cause. And if I read these two statements, obviously the ragging thing has to be the immediate and the principal cause. My answer is option number 2. Please read the statements carefully. Please read the statements carefully. What I am seeing that most of you are not reading the statements carefully. Please understand. Read the two events. Read the two events. First of all, identify which is one event is a cause, one is an effect. If you read these two statements, what will be the cause, what will be the effect? Just tell me this much. Ragging will be the cause, suspension will be the effect. Correct? Rohit, yes, I'm going to explain, right? So now when I said immediate and principal cause, I mean something which is the main cause of a particular resultant effect. And when I say the immediate cause, I mean something which should have happened just before this particular effect happened. Immediate cause, something which happened just before the effect. Immediate effect, the effect which happened just after the cause. That's what is the meaning of the word immediate and principal. Sure, Shivashish will do that. Now are we all able to understand? Yes, B is effect of A. B is effect of A. You never say, you always say that A is cause of the effect B. A is cause of effect B. A is the cause, B is the effect. Okay, Vani? Anjali, Purvai, able to understand? Anushka, Rashi, Vani, are you able to understand? Do you still have any doubts? Okay. So my correct answer, yes, 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 yes. You have to assume a little. You have to assume that uh, I cannot suspend first and then do the ragging. See, these are the words. These are the words which are just used in the framing of questions. I can always frame the same question and frame the same options without using the word immediate and principal. There is no significant difference. Cause and principal and immediate cause just mean that cause is something which could be one of the possible reasons, and the principal cause means this will be the major reason. Cause and principal cause, the only difference is principal cause is the major reason and cause could be one of the many reasons. Immediate cause means something which has happened just before this. Immediate refers to the timeline. Principal refers to the weightage. Okay, Shivashish? Immediate refers to the timeline, principal refers to the weightage. Yes, yes. In these questions, you have to assume that much, that they are not going to play on this thing that no, just because it could not be a principal cause, you should mark none of these. No. If a cause is given, take it as principal. You just have to understand that what of the two. Karunya, I cannot mute you. If I will mute you, you cannot speak, but you will be able to hear me. If you are able to hear me, Karunya, it's everything is fine. You need to be on mute, right? So now we understand that you don't need to impact yourself with the word principal or with the word immediate at all. It's just the way of framing a question. I may give you the same question without the use of word immediate and principal as well. But immediate refers to the weightage of the cause or the weightage of the effect. Principal refers to the weightage of the cause or the weightage of the effect, and immediate refers to the timeline. Is it clear, everyone now? Karunya, is it clear now? Question number 2. What is the answer you all are getting for question number 2? Great. Now tell me, what will happen first? India will be the largest democracy first, or India will be categorized as the flawed democracy first? Is India a democracy first, or first a flawed democracy? Largest democracy first. So can I say that B is the cause and A is the effect? Can I say? Karunya, it's not possible. Can you just check? Karunya, can you check? Are you all able to hear me? Okay. So can I say that B is the cause and A is the effect? But I can also say that just because India is the democracy, is the largest democracy, that does not necessarily mean that India is a flawed democracy. Yes, the only relationship is the word democracy. So can I say, as rightly mentioned by most of you as well, that A is the effect, but B is not the immediate and the principal cause? Do we all agree with this? Great. See, the easiest way of solving these questions is, first, don't get to the options. They look very confusing. First of all, demarcate that which of the event is a cause and which of the event is an effect. Definitely one of the events will be the cause and one of the events will be the effect. It may not be necessarily a principal cause. Vani, it could be, say, political system, it could be politicians, it could be businessmen, it could be management, whatever, it could have led to the flawed democracy. Just because it's the largest democracy, I cannot say that it's a flawed democracy. Hence, not a principal cause. Understood, Vani? So, my point is, whenever you get these questions, first of all, just read the event, tag one event as a cause, tag one event as an effect, eliminate options, then just see that whether the cause or the effect can be the principal cause or effect or not. Right. So Khyati, Atul, the correct answer is A. A is the effect, but B is not the immediate and principal cause. Option number 3. Great. Moving ahead. What's the answer you are getting for this question? Okay. Is tsunami and is earthquake similar type of are they similar type of natural disasters, or are they different types of natural disasters? Different. How are they similar? They are a natural disaster, but they are a different kind of natural disasters. Parine, we we cannot get into the scientific reason tsunami can come even without an earthquake. Tsunami can come without earthquake, and earthquake can not always be followed by tsunami. So we will not go by that assumption, which is not universally true. Now tell me, now tell me, can earthquake have a different cause, and can tsunami have a different cause? Or only tsunami can be the cause of earthquake, or only earthquake can be the cause of tsunami? Are they the only causes for each other, or they may have different causes? Brinda, earthquake is a cause for tsunami. Earthquake is the only cause for tsunami. These are two different things. Unless it's only cause for tsunami, I cannot relate them. Exactly. But can I definitely say that earthquake and the tsunami, they are the effect of some cause? It can. It must have common cause, Mohini? No. Unless I can derive a definite relationship, I cannot say that. Yes, yes, Himanshi, they will be, but the natural causes could be different, right? Those natural causes could be different. Now, basis whatever discussion we have had so far, what are the options we are left with? Can I say that we are left with option 3 and 4? Now tell me one thing. Now the only difference in the two statements is one says that these are causes and one says that these are effects. Correct? The only difference in the two statements is one says that these are causes and one says that these are effects. Now tell me, the first thought which comes to your mind when you hear of a earthquake, the first thought which comes to your mind when you hear of a tsunami, we cannot get into the scientific relation between tsunami and earthquake unless we can we can directly arrive at it reading the statements. We cannot say that earthquake is a cause for tsunami basis our scientific knowledge. Right, Richa, we cannot be applying the scientific knowledge. Now, we all agree that if I hear of an earthquake, if I hear of a tsunami, I would perceive it as an effect and I would not perceive it as a cause. So my correct answer would be option number 4. Harshit, what is the doubt you have? Does it say that the tsunami struck after the earthquake? Does it say that tsunami occurred after the earthquake, or earthquake happened after tsunami? Aren't we using the scientific knowledge over here? We used ragging and suspension because they were happening with the same set of seniors. It specifically mentioned here. I am limiting myself to the coastal belt, and I am talking about the entire island. I cannot be using my scientific knowledge. Scientific knowledge is the last thing which I will ever use to solve these questions. So whatever you are saying is based on the scientific knowledge, which we are not supposed to use. Earthquake is a scientific phenomena. Ragging and suspension is not a scientific phenomena, right? Okay. Now, Jui asked that why it's not 3. Now, Jui, tell me, I'm coming to this. Just all of you tell me, whenever you hear of an earthquake or a tsunami, what's the thought comes to your mind? That this happened because of something, or it's a cause of something? What is the first thought which comes to our mind when we hear of earthquake or tsunami? We say X thing would have happened to the nature, X thing is Y thing is happening in nature, Z thing is happening due to the pollution, greenhouse effect is happening, a lot of pollution stuff is happening, etc., etc., etc. Right? So Mohini, we will see earthquake or tsunami as an effect or a cause. Everyone. Jui? Exactly, it's an effect. It happens because of something. So between 3 and 4, cause and effect, they'll always be a chain. It's always an endless chain. So you have to select the best possible answer. So if I have to select the best possible answer between 3 and 4, it happens cause of something, correct? So if it is happening because of something, it in itself is an effect, right? Effect is because of some cause, and you rightly said that it is cause of something. It happens because of something. Anything which happens because of something is the effect. Are we all on same page? Do we get this question now? Moving to the last question. Yes, Atul, you have to keep your scientific knowledge outside. Can the breaking of ice be linked to earthquake in any way? No. right? So 1 and 2 eliminated. 1 and 2 eliminated. Do they necessarily have a common cause? No. Option number 5 eliminated. Left between option 3 and 4. Read the statements. Though, are they affect or are they cause? Being prone to something, it's an affect, correct? Ice melting, effect of something. So my correct answer would be right. Now all of you are getting the flavor. Right. The correct answer is option number 4. The correct answer is option number 4. Great. So with this, we come to the end of this session. I hope this session could give you some clarity to start off with. More and more practice will give you, will make you skillful. As we said in question number 1, all of you will become skillful with more and more practice. Practice is the only key. We'll take up a lot of questions in future as well in such sessions. I'll just discuss question number last question of statement assumption once again, which Shibashish requested. It is I need help from all of you to make this section discussion quick. Brinda, it's always good. I guess Alka requested me to keep this session, so it's always good to get suggestions from all of you also to understand the topics where you are urgently facing some problems, and we can always take them up. I hope this session has been of some use. We are still on just discussing this question once again. It is futile to discuss corruption at any forum. Shibashish, this is the question you wanted to discuss. Okay, now see, it is futile to discuss corruption at any forum. Corruption is rampant everywhere in the country. Good night, Molly. Corruption is rampant everywhere in the country. Sucheta, yes, we will bring it up. We will have many more sessions, on these lines, Anushka. Uh, Himanshi, just give me a minute. Let me clarify this question first. Now, Shibashish, just because I am discussing some topic with anyone out there, or say people are discussing any topic, does it necessarily make that topic a serious topic? Yes or no? Good night, Harshit. Right. So very easily I can eliminate option number 2. Yes, Andela, you can leave. You can leave. Thank you for joining the session. I hope you found the session useful. Good night, Anushka. So Shibashish, can I eliminate option number 2? Assumption 2. Assumption 2 I can eliminate. Right. Now coming to assumption 1, corruption is inevitable in any system. If something is getting rampant in any place, that means it's almost everywhere. Definitely Alka will have a lot more, right? So the meaning of the word rampant is ever increasing, ever growing, spread everywhere. So on that basis, I can easily assume assumption number 1. Good night, Parinay. So Shibashish, are you getting that? Why am I assuming 1 and why am I not assuming 2? Yes, rampant everywhere means growing everywhere. That's why I have to assume that it's inevitable in the system. Exactly. So that's how we mark the answer in this question, Shibashish. Okay, moving to question number 3. What is the doubt over here? Charu, we are not getting into different types of societies. You are overthinking. We don't need to overthink that much. Himanshi, if it was not an advertisement, I would not assume that people do decorate their houses, Himanshi. The reason I am assuming that there is a demand for decoration because there is an advertisement. If you and I are having a conversation and I say this, it does not mean that there is a demand for this. But because it's an advertisement, we do assume. Okay, Himanshi? Does that clear your doubt? Okay, Saurav, coming to question number 3. The correct answer is only assumption 2 is implicit. Because I have no clue about the other classes. Other classes can also be atrociously priced, or they can be decently priced, or they can be cheap. I don't know. So assumption 1 not possible. Assumption 2 very easily possible. Okay. Okay, Saurabh. Great. Great. So thank you, everyone. Good night. A recording of this session will be provided shortly. Thank you. Good night.